Sam James.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. You can hear me. I can hear you. We're good.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm home today, so I don't know. I don't have the right the regular setup. So it's like, okay.
There's nothing better than a day at work from home. Let me tell you, that's where I'm at as well.
Oh, it feels good, except the fact I don't know if you guys got the storm. You're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got blasted the last 2 days by like tons of snow and ice, and like so it just seems like every time as soon as I get home, we're get crushed by a storm, which I guess
Where
is like
where is home right now for you?
home base is Sturbridge, Massachusetts, which is like Western Mass.
Yeah.
But I travel like a lot.
Yeah.
So, but it just, I'm just so lucky. I get to do the driveway and all that other stuff. Get
Well,
back.
listen, man. I'm a fellow masshole. I actually grew up in Western Massachusetts.
Oh no,
So Palmer is where I went to high school. Very familiar with Sturbridge. Actually, if you are, I forget, is it Route 20? Maybe I forget what it is. There's an Applebee's right off the pike in Sturbridge.
oh yeah.
I worked there. That was an
No,
Apple Buddy there,
get out of here, dude.
bro.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's like there's like Uno's and Applebee's like right next door to each other, and I swear to God, like they must have a lease till the end of time because it's like so. I grew up in Massachusetts, but I didn't grow up in this area. You know,
Yeah.
you move to quiet towns for love. That's like
Nothing wrong.
so. My wife is like has lived here a long time, and like so 15 years ago when we met, I moved out this way, and it's quiet but Applebee's is popping, bro. Like you drive,
It really is. It
dude.
really is. Honestly, like the mozzarella sticks alone, it brings people in, but it's in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. That's where you go. That is where you go.
There's
So,
just not a lot. There's just not a lot going on. You know what I mean? It's like
fair.
if you want to get a $6 Long Island iced tea and just get your face rocked off, that's where you go.
What's your favorite part about living in Massachusetts? Because it's a different vibe, right? Like I like going to the Packy myself. That's one of my favorite things to do.
I mean, the Packy's great. You got to love it, especially during the winter. I mean,
Yeah.
every single person in New England has a little bit of an alcohol problem in the winter, and we're
Chicago.
not going. Yeah, I know you got you. It's cold there too. I have a really, really, really good friend. Do you know Dante Diana?
Yeah. He does mix shows for us on Kiss FM. Yeah.
So Dante's, we went to he's older than I am, but we went to high school together. And he's like made, hooked me up with he works for Barstool and like all those guys. And that's how I met like all the bars.
I'm gonna text him right now and let him know. Hey, I'm friends with Sam James now, and
Yeah,
maybe he'll give me a discount at one of his many fantastic, fabulous restaurants here in Chicago.
I
So
know this dude. It's so funny. He's always been like that since we were young. Like he's a total like entrepreneur. Like he was doing like the DJ thing before. I still have his first mix CD in
wow.
somewhere in storage in the house. It was Dante the Don Volume One.
The
And
Don.
he used to make these like mixtapes, right? And like
Yeah.
just and distribute them for free to like all of his boys, and that's what we used to play at like every party. And he used to
Wow.
like school dances and like all that stuff.
Unreal. What a small world. Small world.
I know if you're in Chicago, there's no way because Dante is like now they owns like it's so many restaurants and like nightclubs and like all that stuff. I'm like, you guys definitely know each other.
Yeah, no, we hang. He's one of my good buddies here for sure. And we actually he owes me a favor because fun story, and then we'll move on from Dante talk. You know how big of a Swiftie he is.
Oh, the biggest. Did you
Okay,
hook up?
so ask him about. I took him with me as my plus one to see Taylor Swift. I think it was in Nebraska. It was in Omaha, Nebraska, and he said to me, he said, "All right, I'm coming. Do you want me to bring some like wild shirts, like some fan shirts?" And I was like, "Yes,
Yes, immediately. Yes.
yes." And so what he brought was like the Taylor Swift shirt. Maybe you saw this on social media where it was like all her different like eras of Taylor.
Yeah.
Like like 8-year-old Taylor, which is awkward, all the
Dude,
way up to like high school. And yeah, so we wore those, and I brought him back to the meet and greet, and he was literally like, he had hives. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I can't believe I'm meeting Taylor Swift." I'm like, "Bro, act cool, act cool, act cool."
you're like, dude, this is like my job. You have to act cool, man. Like this
That's so
is
funny.
yeah, no, dude,
So,
that's so funny. That's like it's so concerts are crazy now because everyone's back on the road, including myself coming up, and it's like it's the nice thing about working in music is like, and you know this because you work in music, like you don't really ever pay to go see shows, and that's been great. But like I tried to get Taylor Swift tickets in Boston, and it's just impossible. Like impossible. I was like, my sister was like, please, please, and I was like, you know what, like I'll pay for them because I have no connection to get free Taylor Swift tickets. But it was crazy. It was like $1,800 a ticket. I was like,
oh,
get out of here. We're not going.
yeah, between Taylor and Beyonce, all of our money is gone. Listen, dude, let's get into your stuff. First of all, first time it hit hard. It hit hard, and I think that's what it was supposed to do, right? Like it's the song about never taking anything for granted. At least that's how I took it as. Is that kind of the message you want to?
100%. I mean, the first time is really a song about it's, not taking your partner for granted and long relationships. I mean, I think like we're having like a really big moment with like the 30 to 50-year-old demographic on this song. And it's because, we've all been in long relationships. And um, it's one of those things. It's like, sometimes when you're with someone for a long time, like you forget why. And you have to like find that reason why. And it's really important. I mean, it's not that the two of you don't work anymore. It's just like you have to like work in the parameters that you're in. You know what I mean? And it's like rediscover each other and like act like you're dating again for the first time. And that was really real to my life. You know what I mean? Like I've been with the same person for 15 years. So, every once in a while we have to like do a little reset, And I mean, that's the song came from a really real place. And like, it was one of those songs that like I finished the melody and lyric in like 20 minutes. It just kind of like flowed out. Those when you always know those are the good ones.
What it just hits like that. Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine like the songwriting process and lyrics and the music to go along with it. It just seems like it blows my mind that people that are musically talented can do it, like number one at all, and number two, like in a quick amount of time. But is there ever a time where you're trying to write a song and you're stuck on it and it takes forever?
There's been like really rare instances where it's hard when you're in it.
Yeah.
You're and then when you step away from it, it's like very hard. Like there's been songs like I have like sitting on my hard drive that are like just I want to change like two or three lines, but like I have to get back into that mind space in order to do it. And so I'll wait until I'm in that mind space and then I'll go back to the studio and like change the lines. But when you're writing like on a Tuesday, you write a song and you write a song on a Wednesday, you might feel different. Especially, dude, especially like artists like me because we're emotional train wrecks. So like it's
Mhm.
very manic, you know what I mean? Like it's very manic depressive. So it's like very Wednesday I might be like in the dumps, Tuesday I'm feeling great. It's like so you write accordingly, which is very very different. So it's tough to do that.
What was the experience like when you're like you probably wake up and your phone's blowing up because all of a sudden your friends are all telling you and your team's telling you, hey, by the way, artists are sharing your music and commenting on your songs. What like what was that moment? What was that oh shit moment for you? And you're like,
That
okay, this is kind of cool.
that was the crazy thing because it was and honestly like the pandemic was such a terrible time for everyone, but it because people were living on the internet really even more so than they are regularly, like it actually helped my cause because I was done, dude. I was done being an artist. Like I had done that. Like I had done record deals and like multiple record deals and like worked with like tons of artists on my artist project and over the years. And then I stopped like a few years before the pandemic. Like I had stopped. I just was writing for other people. Like I've written for BB Rexa and Dolly Parton and Galantis and Lee Bryce. And I was really in that mode, like loving life, just writing songs for other people, like eating potato chips and pizza and sitting in the studio all night and just writing. And it was my jam. And then pandemic hits. I had everything's closed. All the studios are shut down. People are just working on Zoom. It was horrible. I had a friend who was just like, why don't you just throw stuff up online? And I was like, no, that's dumb. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm done with that. And he's like, what do you care? You have no followers. No one's going to see it if it's not good. So I started posting these crazy little covers. And then it was pretty quickly that like Nicki Minaj and Diddy and Khaled and like all these big artists, Jack Harlow, were like reposting me. And I still kind of can't believe it. It's very weird. It's like a very weird thing. Mm-hmm. Then also like is a lot of pressure that comes with it too, because you cover artists like all the time. And now I just make original music. But when I was doing these covers, your biggest fear in the back of your mind is like, you never want to not have it do justice to the artists themselves. Right. So like, oh my God, what if like, because every time I would post one, all my followers would go crazy and tag the artist. So you know they're going to see it because they're getting tagged like thousands of times in a row. So the worst thing ever would be like you cover a Jack Harlow song and he's like, this is whack.
Like, it's true. That's a big fear. I never thought about that.
So yeah. You always have that in the back of your mind. Like when I was creating these things, like, you know, that's why like I didn't post them frequently. Like I would do like one a month because that's kind of sometimes because they were like, if you've listened to these covers, like they were real reimaginings, you know, like they weren't. Okay. So it would take like a while to like create them, you know, and like get them to a place where I was comfortable. I have so many of them on my computer that no one's ever heard and nobody ever will, because I was just like, these just aren't it, you know?
I think we need them. I think we need them, but I like that you're spreading them out. But is Juicy your most talked about cover?
You know what? I think the craziest thing, it depends on the platform.
Okay.
So TikTok was Sugar by Brockhampton, which was okay. Like it was big enough.
Yeah.
But it's not like a massive, like Brockhampton isn't even together anymore. So it's like, it wasn't like this massive, like Nicki Minaj was kind of like a no brainer. When you do a Nicki Minaj song, if you did it well, the barbs are coming out. Like they're going to share the shit out of that. Yep. But so like TikTok, I would say it was definitely Brockhampton, which was crazy. And it still goes wild on TikTok. It's very weird. Mm-hmm. And then Instagram, it was Life is Good, Drake.
Okay.
And then it was Juicy for sure, because Diddy gave it a ton of love, which was really, really nice of him. Mm-hmm. I woke up one day and I had a 2-minute voicemail from Diddy. Like, get out of here. I mean, these are people I've looked up to my whole life, you know, working in music and aspiring to be like on that level.
What was the premise of that message? Like, you don't have to tell us what he said, but like, what was the whole like?
I mean, there was a friend in LA. We have a mutual friend that I didn't even know that we did, and he sent him the cover, and it was right around the anniversary of Biggie's death. And he left me this like the sweetest, nicest, kindest voicemail, like just, hey man, I just wanted you to know, like, it just means a lot that his music is like lives on. And it just brought me back to like listening to it in the studio that first day we made it. And like, it was like really, really nice. Wow. It meant a lot to me. It's something I'm going to keep for me, you know? Like,
please, on every hard drive, keep that voicemail. Yeah. Well, dude, I know first time it really hits hard. What other music do you have coming out? Like, what can your fans expect? And when do you come to Chicago to perform?
So I'm working on that right now, actually. I can't really say yet, but I have like a couple tours lined up for the summer that I think, so we'll definitely be in Chicago, like opening up for some bigger artists, which is great. I love Chicago, by the way. Like it's really a great time. Excellent city. It's very, very Boston-esque where I'm from. So it's like I feel right at home there.
Yep.
But yeah, so the next single we have coming out is in the middle of April. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's called When I Die. The rest of the album is every single song is like comes from a very real place for me. So like I struggle with like anxiety and depression, and I talk about it openly a lot because I think it's important. And this song was like, the first time is not very dark. I mean, it has dark elements, but like this next song is like a little bit darker. It's about anxiety and like dealing with it. It's kind of like a letter to myself. And sometimes I write songs to like get myself out of that space, and that's what this was for me. So I think hopefully people will resonate with it, and I'm going to start teasing it in a couple weeks online. So
Dude, I can't wait because your voice makes any song sound good, but a song that's coming from you and from that means a lot to you, I can only imagine. I'm already getting chills about it. So excited for that. And yeah, Chicago, you're right. There's no other place I'd rather be. Western Mass and New England's home, but this is really the place to be.
and it's really like such a vibe. Like I
Yeah.
really Chicago.
Before I let you go, Sam James, we always do 5 favorites, quick rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to ask you your favorite thing. So favorite pizza topping.
Cheese. I'm a
Are you
purist.
are you a chill pizza guy, like cheese only?
So I live like near the pizza capital of the world, which is New Haven. I'm not throwing any shade at Chicago. It's a very different style of pizza in
Bar,
Chicago.
okay, hold on. Bar, Sally's or Modern or Pepe's?
Okay, so the honest answer is Sally's. The family answer, my aunt worked at Pepe's Pizza for 40 years. So I got to throw love. Pepe's is great too. I prefer Sally's sauce a little bit, but I'm a cheese guy. Like I'm a purist. I'm a pizza purist. So
You can't go. New Haven pizza is the best. What's your favorite thing about New England?
the people, they're so real. Like no one can tell you quicker to go screw yourself and that they love you in the same sentence. Like I'll never not have a house here because it keeps me grounded. So
What is Sam's favorite Adam Sandler movie?
oh man. All right. So comedy, that's you got to do two categories with it because he's like so versatile. But like comedy, definitely Billy Madison. Grew up on it.
So quotable. Yeah.
Serious, I love funny people.
Ooh.
Love it. I think
I
that's
thought I thought for a second you were gonna say Click. Um,
Click is good. Click is
yeah,
good.
Funny People's really, really serious.
Funny
Like
people.
real.
And he also has a new movie out on net. Well, it's not that new, but on Netflix with about he's like a basketball coach. I just watched that on the plane recently. I thought that was great. Forget what it's called.
Have to check
But
that out. Favorite artist to listen to when you're on a road trip?
Dave Matthews.
Okay, we're definitely bros.
Dude,
I've seen Dave like 30 times. So
I've seen him over 30 times. I'll go anytime. The joy of my life has been I've been working on my album in LA, and this amazing guy, Trav, who's working on the record with me, he's like very good friends with the new keyboard player and Dave Matthews. So I've gotten to like go backstage like the last like two
Buddy
times.
Strong?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a beast. I think he's the best addition to the band in the history of the band. I mean,
so good. So
they
good.
better. Like
Yeah.
like that's one of those shows. And then also I love John Mayer. I just saw him acoustic on Monday night at the Garden in Boston, and it was unreal.
Yeah, I heard that show's going to be wild. What if you were to have Dave Matthews in front of you and ask him one question, what would it be? Because I might steal this if this ever happens to me.
Okay, well, full disclosure, I've had him in front of me now twice in my life, and
Oh,
I was starstruck to ever talk to him. It was so embarrassing because I work with big artists all the time. Like I'm around big artists all the time. Never have that happen to me, but for some reason, I just was like this. Hi,
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 hi.
hey. Like, all right. You could tell like I was totally like weirded out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I don't know. That's a really tough question because I mean, I just want to know how that guy's mind works. Like it's just the his writing is very different than anyone else. So it's like his lyrics are a little insane, but they're beautiful. And like, I just want to know, like, if I had to ask him any question, to be like, can I come to the studio with you for one day? Because I feel like I'd learn more in that day than I could in 10 years. So,
I have been practicing this question in my head my whole entire life. I would just ask him, what is the stone about?
oh, I have no clue either. Like,
Because we
but
all have our own
it,
interpretation.
so I used to play for like 10 years. I would do 6 nights a week in bars in New England, and I would play 4 hours a night for 6 nights a week. It was a very drunk period of my life
It's a long
where
time to play too.
4 hour gigs, three to
Yeah.
4 hours sometimes. And then on Saturday, sometimes I'd do doubles in Newport, Rhode Island. I would go and play the afternoon for 3 hours, play at night for four. And I would cover a million Dave Matthews songs. A million.
So good.
The best.
We branched off from five favorites. It's okay. My last favorite question: favorite month in the calendar year.
May.
Hmm.
Because when you're from New England, May is a sweet spot because it's hoodie weather. So you can still wear like hoodies, but you're not freezing. And you can kind of just like chill out. The rain's very rainy in April. May starts to get like really, it's like spring really hits. That's my favorite.
Yeah, New England springs are very underrated, and you got the hoodie on, but you also got maybe some shorts at the same time, so you're like comfy and like cool at the same time.
Always gym shorts and a hoodie and flip flops in May. That's the move.
My man, when we connect in Chicago, we got to hang, get some pizza, Chicago style, and
Oh
talk
yeah,
Dave Matthews. So, bro, thanks so much for doing the interview, and much
dude.
luck. We can't wait for the new music.
Dude, thank you very much. We'll stay in touch. Make sure you follow me on Insta and I'll follow you back, and then
All right,
let's stay in touch.
and I'll tell Dante you said what's up as well.
Tell him I said I love his face and I miss him.